Did you know that 60% of employees don't feel their leaders are effective? Or that organizations with strong leadership are 12 times more likely to have engaged teams? If you've ever felt unsure about your leadership abilities, you're not alone. The truth is, becoming a great leader isn't about natural talent. It's a skill that anyone can develop with the right tools and mindset. In this guide, we'll dive into powerful, often overlooked strategies that will take your leadership to the next level. You'll learn how to master listening, make bold decisions in chaos, and lead with authenticity, all while building leaders around you. Whether you're leading a small team or managing a large organization, these skills will help you stand out as a true leader. Ready to unlock your leadership potential? Let's dive in and discover how simple changes can transform your impact. By the end, you'll know exactly how to lead with confidence and create an environment where everyone thrives. Chapter 1. The Silent Power of Listening. Master the art of deep connection. Great leadership begins with one simple, yet powerful skill: listening. It's not just about hearing words, it's about understanding and connecting with your team. In fact, studies show that active listening is linked to higher team satisfaction and productivity. Leaders who listen create trust, a key ingredient in any successful team. Listening means focusing on the speaker, not planning your next response. Research shows that 55% of communication is body language, 38% is tone of voice, and only 7% is the words we use. This means that true listening involves being present, noticing nonverbal cues, and engaging fully. Leaders who show empathy through listening make their teams feel valued. One strategy to become a better listener is to practice reflective listening. This means repeating back what someone says to show understanding. For example, saying, "I hear you're concerned about the project deadline," lets the person know you're paying attention and care about their thoughts. Listening isn't just about what's being said, it's about what's not being said. Leaders must read between the lines and notice when things are left unspoken. Silent pauses often carry important messages that can help guide decisions. Another key aspect of listening is asking powerful, open-ended questions. These questions encourage dialogue and allow for deeper insights. Rather than asking yes or no questions, try asking, "How do you feel about this approach?" Or, "What challenges do you foresee?" Effective listening also requires patience. It's tempting to jump in and give advice or solutions immediately, but allowing your team to express themselves without interruption builds rapport. A 2018 study found that teams who felt heard were 22% more likely to be engaged in their work. Leaders who master listening also create a culture of respect. When you actively listen, your team feels respected, and this fosters collaboration. It's a simple strategy that often gets overlooked but has a profound impact on relationships. As you listen, make sure to eliminate distractions. Turn off notifications, put away your phone, and focus on the person in front of you. This helps you truly absorb what's being communicated and shows that you value the conversation. Sometimes, silence speaks volumes. Don't be afraid of pauses in conversation. Giving someone time to think and respond shows that you're giving them the space to be heard. This builds trust and opens up more honest communication. In summary, listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about understanding, respecting, and responding thoughtfully. By improving your listening skills, you'll create stronger, more connected teams and become a leader who truly empowers others. Chapter 2. Fail Forward. Turning setbacks into stepping stones for success in leadership. Failure is inevitable. But it's not failure that defines a leader, it's how they respond to it. Leaders who fail forward see each setback as an opportunity to learn and grow. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that 75% of successful leaders experienced major failures early in their careers. One of the most important strategies for leading through failure is reframing your mindset. Instead of thinking of failure as an end, think of it as a learning process. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset helped him eventually create the electric light bulb. When leaders fail, it's important to analyze the situation and learn from it. This means identifying what went wrong and what could be done differently next time. Leaders who embrace failure as feedback rather than as a defeat tend to recover quicker and become more resilient. A key strategy for failing forward is practicing self-compassion. Leaders who are too hard on themselves after a failure may struggle to bounce back. Studies show that self-compassion helps individuals manage stress better and recover from setbacks faster. Another way to turn failure into a stepping stone is to surround yourself with a supportive network. Surrounding yourself with mentors, peers, and colleagues who can provide advice and encouragement helps you gain perspective and keep moving forward. Failing forward also requires vulnerability. Great leaders aren't afraid to admit when they don't have all the answers. Research by Brené Brown, a leadership expert, shows that vulnerability is crucial for building trust and fostering strong team dynamics. Leaders who embrace failure also teach their teams to do the same. By modeling resilience and learning from mistakes, you create a culture where failure is seen as part of the growth process rather than something to fear. It's also important to set realistic expectations and embrace incremental progress. Leaders who focus on long-term goals and celebrate small victories along the way can stay motivated, even in the face of setbacks. Failing forward doesn't mean taking unnecessary risks. It's about acknowledging mistakes, learning from them, and making smarter decisions in the future. A leader who can turn failure into a valuable lesson is far more likely to succeed in the long run. In conclusion, failure is not the end of the road, but a detour. By reframing failure, practicing self-compassion, and learning from your mistakes, you can lead your team with resilience and become a stronger leader. Chapter 3. The Magnetic Mindset. Cultivating charisma without trying. Charisma isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you can develop. Leaders who exude charisma attract followers naturally. It's the kind of energy that draws people in and makes them want to follow you. But how do you develop it? The answer lies in cultivating a magnetic mindset. The first step is to develop self-confidence. Charisma starts from within, and confident leaders make others feel more confident too. Research by Gallup shows that employees who trust their leaders are 12 times more likely to be engaged in their work. Confidence builds trust, and trust builds influence. One key element of charisma is emotional intelligence. Leaders who are emotionally intelligent can read the room and respond to emotions effectively. A study from TalentSmart found that 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence, which plays a huge role in their leadership success. Another strategy is to use positive body language. Charismatic leaders use open gestures, maintain eye contact, and stand tall. Studies show that body language makes up over 50% of communication. How you carry yourself speaks louder than your words. Charisma also involves showing genuine interest in others. Leaders who are present and engaged in conversations, who ask questions and listen, come across as more charismatic. People want to follow someone who cares about their thoughts and feelings. A powerful strategy for increasing charisma is focusing on gratitude. Charismatic leaders often express gratitude and appreciation for their teams. According to a study by the University of Pennsylvania, expressing gratitude can boost happiness and build stronger relationships within a team. Storytelling is another tool in the charismatic leader's toolbox. Leaders who can tell compelling stories inspire and connect with their audiences on an emotional level. Great stories are memorable, and leaders who use them can motivate and captivate their teams. It's also important for leaders to show vulnerability. Leaders who admit their flaws or challenges make them more relatable. This creates a connection with others, as it shows that you are human too. Vulnerability fosters trust and admiration. Lastly, be consistent. Charismatic leaders are dependable and act with integrity. People are naturally drawn to leaders who are authentic and who stand by their principles, even when it's difficult. In conclusion, charisma isn't about being a smooth talker or having a larger-than-life personality. It's about being emotionally intelligent, confident, and consistent. With these strategies, you can develop a magnetic presence that inspires loyalty and engagement from your team. Subscribe now. Don't miss out on the next chapters, where we'll dive deeper into making decisive choices in chaos, leading authentically, and empowering others to become great leaders. Subscribe for more insights on becoming the leader you've always wanted to be. Chapter 4. Decisive in the chaos. Leading with clarity in uncertainty. In times of uncertainty, strong leaders rise to the occasion. Chaos can make decision-making seem impossible, but clear and decisive leaders cut through the noise. Studies show that organizations with decisive leaders are 12% more likely to experience higher performance during crises. Leadership isn't about avoiding tough decisions, it's about making them confidently. One of the best strategies for making decisions in chaos is to stick to your values. When everything feels unpredictable, a solid set of core values can act as a compass. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful leaders, advises, when the music stops, in terms of liquidity, things can get very messy, but the people who make decisions based on their values come out ahead. Another strategy is to gather the right information quickly. In a chaotic environment, hesitation can lead to missed opportunities. The best leaders know when to ask the right questions and gather data fast. In fact, a study by McKinsey shows that leaders who rely on real-time data make better decisions 30% faster than those who don't. To stay decisive, practice making smaller decisions quickly. The more you practice, the better you get. Leaders who struggle with uncertainty often find it helpful to start with low-risk decisions, which build their confidence for larger, more important ones. This incremental approach helps you adapt without feeling overwhelmed. Clear communication is another essential trait of decisive leaders. During uncertain times, your team looks to you for direction. If you can explain why you're making a decision and how it will impact them, it helps everyone stay aligned. Effective communication reduces confusion and builds trust, which is crucial in tough times. Even in chaos, it's important to stay calm. Leaders who maintain composure during stressful moments inspire confidence in their teams. In fact, a 2021 study from the Journal of Applied Psychology found that leaders who are calm under pressure are 25% more likely to maintain employee productivity during stressful situations. Decision-making in chaos is also about knowing when to act and when to pause. Sometimes, the best move is to take a step back and assess the situation before making a rushed decision. This pause can prevent costly mistakes and lead to better outcomes in the long run. One strategy for making decisions in uncertainty is using a decision matrix. A decision matrix is a tool that helps weigh the pros and cons of different options based on key criteria. This method provides clarity, helps reduce emotional bias, and speeds up decision-making. Being decisive also means being prepared to make course corrections when necessary. Leaders who stay flexible and adjust quickly are better equipped to handle changing circumstances. The ability to pivot in the face of new information is an essential leadership skill that comes with practice. Lastly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Being decisive doesn't mean being perfect. It's about making the best decision you can with the information available and then learning from any missteps. Leaders who embrace mistakes as opportunities for learning grow stronger and more resilient over time. In conclusion, leading through uncertainty requires clarity, confidence, and the ability to make decisions quickly. By relying on your values, staying calm, and using practical tools, you'll become a leader who can guide your team through even the most chaotic situations. Subscribe now. Ready for more leadership secrets? Don't miss the final chapters where we explore how authenticity and empowering others can elevate you to greatness as a leader. Subscribe today. Chapter 5. Authentic Influence. Lead by being you, not by following trends in leadership. Authenticity is everything. People follow leaders they believe in, not leaders who try to fit into a mold. Authentic leadership is about staying true to yourself and your values. A Gallup study shows that employees who feel their leader is authentic are 30% more engaged in their work. One of the first strategies to lead authentically is to embrace vulnerability. As a leader, it's important to admit when you don't know something or when you've made a mistake. Vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It builds trust, which is crucial for strong leadership. Brené Brown, an expert on vulnerability, states, "Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome." Another way to cultivate authenticity is by being consistent. Your team needs to know what to expect from you. When you act in line with your values every day, it builds credibility. Leaders who are consistent in their actions and decisions earn respect and create a stable environment for their teams. Don't try to imitate others. It's tempting to follow the latest leadership trends, but true influence comes from being yourself. Studies show that employees are more likely to follow a leader who is genuine and transparent, rather than someone who is trying to be someone they're not. People can sense when someone is pretending, and it undermines trust. Leaders who are authentic also communicate clearly and openly. Share your thoughts, motivations, and reasons behind decisions. This helps your team understand where you're coming from and why certain choices are made. When leaders are open about their thinking, it invites others to share their opinions and fosters collaboration. Authenticity also requires emotional intelligence. Being in tune with your emotions and the emotions of others helps you lead with empathy. Research from TalentSmart shows that emotionally intelligent leaders are 85% more likely to have high-performing teams. Empathy builds connections, which is a powerful form of influence. One key to authenticity is knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Leaders who are self-aware can build on their strengths while seeking help with their weaknesses. Acknowledging areas where you can grow shows maturity and builds respect among your team. Authentic leaders also encourage others to be themselves. Instead of trying to change their team members, they nurture each person's unique talents and perspectives. This creates a culture where people feel safe to express themselves and contribute their best work. Lastly, being authentic means standing by your principles, even when it's difficult. Leadership can sometimes involve making unpopular decisions. When you lead with integrity, people will follow you because they trust that you are making the right call, even when it's hard. In conclusion, authenticity is the cornerstone of effective leadership. By embracing vulnerability, being consistent, and staying true to your values, you'll build a leadership style that attracts loyal followers and creates lasting influence. Chapter 6. Empower and Elevate. Developing leaders within your team. Leadership isn't just about being the one at the top, it's about building other leaders. The most powerful leaders create a legacy by empowering those around them. A study by Gallup found that teams with leaders who develop others are 27% more likely to report higher productivity. The first strategy for empowering others is to delegate. Effective delegation shows that you trust your team and helps them grow. Studies show that leaders who delegate effectively are 33% more likely to have higher performing teams. Delegation doesn't just lighten your workload, it creates learning opportunities for your team members. Another powerful strategy is mentorship. Take time to mentor your team members, providing guidance and support. Mentoring can be formal or informal, but it should focus on developing the leadership skills of others. When you invest in others' growth, you foster a culture of leadership within your organization. Leaders who empower others also provide regular feedback. Constructive feedback is essential for growth. A study by Zenger and Folkman found that employees who receive regular feedback are 3.5 times more likely to be engaged in their work. Feedback helps people improve, and it shows that you care about their development. Encourage independence in your team. Instead of micromanaging, give them the freedom to make decisions. Leaders who allow their team members to take ownership of their work create more motivated and confident individuals. Studies show that autonomy is one of the key drivers of employee satisfaction. Building leaders within your team also means providing learning opportunities. Encourage your team to attend training, workshops, or conferences. The more they learn, the more they grow as leaders. Leaders who prioritize education help their teams stay competitive and equipped for future challenges. Another strategy is to share your own experiences. Don't be afraid to talk about your own leadership journey, the struggles, the lessons, and the growth. Sharing your story helps others see the path to leadership and inspires them to follow suit. In conclusion, developing leaders within your team is one of the most impactful things you can do as a leader. By delegating, mentoring, providing feedback, and fostering autonomy, you help others reach their full potential. And when your team members grow as leaders, your organization as a whole grows stronger.